right, there's the opening bell on this Wednesday morning. I keep having to remind myself what day it is. It is Wednesday, day May 4th. I should remember that as well. You're going to tell me it's Friday?
It's Friday.
Don't toy with my emotions, Brian Sozzi.
The Fed already raised rates.
Yeah.
So we're taking a look at stocks that were indicating a higher open here this morning. Of course, everything could change at 2 p.m. when we hear from the Federal Reserve and get that press conference. But right now, the bias is slightly to the upside, but we're going to be awaiting some bigger action later on. Let's take a look at CVS. That's one of the other companies that was out with its numbers this morning. And CVS, which has really become a bigger, more complicated company over the past few years. The company coming out with earnings and sales that beat estimates here, and it is also raising its forecast for full-year profit, now saying profit for the full year going to be as much as $8.40 a share. $8.30 was the prior upper end of that. But the shares are not gaining much traction here. Now, a lot of the continued demand for CVS has been what's been going on with tests and vaccines. 6 million COVID-19 tests, 8 million vaccines nationwide in the first quarter of the year. That is what CVS administered. One would have to think, especially judging by what we've been hearing from other companies in the industry and the drug makers, that is going to wane as the year goes on. You see the breakdown there. Pharmacy services is now the biggest part of the business, which is quite interesting. That revenue of $39.5 billion, by the way, was a record for CVS.
I think this really speaks to, and we don't talk about this a lot when it comes to perhaps some of the pharmacies out there, but this vertical integration and really using all of the findings from over the course of the pandemic where people were stocking up on everything from toiletries, then even into some of the NyQuils, the DayQuils, and then additionally, how do you add on and layer on to that the different pharmacy services going forward from here and healthcare services. And I think for CVS, what we have seen is this integration that was started back in 2017, 2018, when you saw a lot of consolidation between the pharmacy benefits managers and some of the insurance businesses. That's what really kicked off this opportunity for that line of business to now be putting the team on its back, as Marshawn Lynch would say.
Yeah, we've also seen, I think, a reinvention of the CVS store, the actual physical store under CEO Karen Lynch. And you're starting to see in the results. Sales up 9.2% in that core retail business. Operating profits up 15.1%. Anytime you see that dynamic, that is a good thing. And, of course, we not see it at Starbucks. But I walked in the CVS buyer office yesterday. I walk in, rows of eye creams, tooth whitening, various items, Beyond Meat sausages I think I found in there too. It's almost turning into a high-end supermarket here, and I like it.
That's been a process that's been going on for several years. Yeah. Just one side note, with Brad joining us here on the desk, I'm really going to have to, get on board with the sports analogies. The Michael Jordan one, I sort of got, right? Yeah. The return. Marshawn, what was the other one?
Marshawn Lynch. It's more of a Skittles reference than anything else. Got you covered.
Tiger Woods plays golf.
Val is telling me to say beast mode. I don't even, I have no idea what any of this means.